Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Avane Thermal Spring Water, which you can use to hydrate and soothe sensitive, redness-prone and irritated skin as it is rich in minerals. And I'm going to show you how you can use it in a skincare routine. So I have the setup right here, and when including your Thermal Spring Water, you're going to use it after your cleansing step, like a toner, and then you're going to continue with the rest of your skincare routine. Now I have prepared for an example routine that's suitable for oily sensitive skin or dry sensitive skin. Now you can see the example right here. What's going to change is first of all the cleanser, so make sure that you're going to pick the right one for your skin type, as well as that it's not going to irritate your sensitive skin. Then you're going to move on to the Thermal Spring Water. After that, if you want to include zone-specific treatments, that would be the next step. I just purely went with hydration. And then if you still should feel the need, you can follow with a moisturizer afterwards. And then throughout the day, you can follow with sunscreen to protect your skin. Now, if you have sensitive, irritated skin, you would likely look into a mineral sunscreen. Ideally, that gives you a light tint so that you won't look like a ghost, and that's the example that I have picked. Now, when working with a mineral sunscreen in the morning, that's kind of like a side note, I want to emphasize that in the evening, your regular cleanser won't be able to take it off. So therefore, work either with an oil or balm cleanser, or if necessary, you can do a double cleanse. And so if you want to see how you can properly do this, I'm going to leave a video in the top right corner, because for today's video, I'm going to go with a morning example skincare routine, including the sunscreen step. So we are going to get started with the first step, which is the cleansing step. And I'm going to use La Roche-Posay Clair Purifying Gel Foaming Cleanser, which is great if you have sensitive oily skin. So this is just one example. If you have a different one, or usually for dry skin, check the directions because it may change. Right here it mentions that I need to apply to wet skin. Sometimes for dry skin it mentions that you should apply to dry skin, so go ahead and adjust it. When working with water, when washing your face with your cleanser, my suggestion would be use lukewarm water to warm water so it feels comfortable on the skin, that it's not too hot nor too cold. And this also will help you to later on get the cleanser properly off the skin. You can do this above the sink or in the shower, whatever your habit may be or your convenience, go ahead and then adjust it. But the way on how you're going to use your cleanser is going to stay the same. Now I'm going to get started with first of all wetting my face and neck, then we are using a bit of the cleanser, massaging it all over and then rinsing it off. In between I do like to work with a little helper, which is my washcloth. So let's go ahead and do this. Then use about a pump, maybe 2 pumps, depending on how much comes out. So overall go with about a coin size amount, about that much more or less. Rub your hands together and then gently blend it or massaging it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. So once I've massaged it all over, you now can go ahead and rinse it off. Now in the shower there's no need to just use a washcloth in between. You can do this in the shower by just using the shower head. It should do this. However, when doing this above the sink, by just splashing some water onto the skin using your hands, you often will see that there's still some moisture of the cleanser, especially along the hairline. And this is where I always recommend working with soft makeup microfiber cloths, which are extremely gentle on the skin, and they can help you to properly remove the cleanser from the skin. Take your washcloth and wet it. Squeeze it out. And now gently swipe it across your face to take off any last traces of your cleanser. And now rinse again. So, and once you've properly rinsed off your cleanser, you now are going to take a clean and gentle towel to remove the excess water from the skin by gently patting all over. So, and once you're done with your cleansing step, you now can head into Avane Thermal Spring Water. Now, when working with the spring water, what you're going to do is basically close your eyes, your mouth, and then about a distance of 20 centimeters, you're going to spray it evenly all over your face as well as neck. I primarily like to use it for my lower part of the face because this is where I usually experience a bit of dryness as well as redness, so they can help me to soothe it, to calm the skin. So, and once you have sprayed it evenly all over, you're going to wait for about 2 to 3 minutes so that most of it can absorb, and then whatever is left after that time, you're going to either take a tissue, maybe cotton pads, or a gentle towel to pad off any excess, whatever you usually like to use. Go ahead and grab then that specific tool. Now I'm going to do this now straightforward so I can continue with the rest of the skincare routine, and then I'm not going to leave you waiting, but I want to emphasize that in case for whatever reason your skin is going to soak up all the water, that's a good thing, and if there's nothing else to tap off, then you can immediately continue with the rest of your skincare routine. It's just if you still have some residue all over, then go ahead and pat it gently off the skin. So once you're done with your thermal spring water, you now can go ahead and head into the next step. So if you usually like to work with a serum or you now want to include one, this would be the next step. And this can be a specific serum for your sensitive skin, for your overall skin concerns, so this can be exchanged. But in my example routine, I want to go with purely hydration and to help you to soothe the skin. So I've picked an hyaluronic acid serum, which is Vichy's Hydro Boost. And in this example, you can go ahead and use about 1 to 2 pumps. However, as a general guide, if you're working with an hydrating serum, you can go with about 3 to 5 drops, or maybe 4 to 6 drops, depending on how watery the texture even is. So you can go ahead and adjust it, but one thing that won't change is that it would be the next step after you have applied the thermal water to the skin. And I want to emphasize that in case you're working with an hydrating serum, you're working with an hyaluronic acid serum, there's no need to apply to wet skin. So this is extremely important, especially if you're working with the thermal spring water. Always tap off any excess that you still have on the skin from the water, and then move on to your specific serum. So once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. If you should feel the need, you can give it about 30 seconds to a minute so it can absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. Now, depending on your skin type, you do not necessarily need to follow with a moisturizer afterwards. Doesn't matter if it's going to be your morning routine or evening routine, it's fine to stop right here. However, if you feel the need of following with a moisturizer, go ahead, it's completely fine. So I have 2 examples right here. Since I'm already going with an oily sensitive skin type routine, I'm going to pick La Roche-Posay Toleriane Ultra Fluid. Otherwise, you may want to exchange your moisturizer to maybe a bit of a richer moisturizer that's very soothing for you if you have a drier skin type. And then one thing that won't change is use about a bean size amount, more or less, of your moisturizer so that you can evenly and thinly apply it and blend it all over your face and neck. You do not need to have a thick coat on it, just a very thin and even, so it feels comfortable on the skin and it can help you to protect your skin as well. So about that much, more or less, depending on the texture of your moisturizer. This may look a bit different, but this is the amount that I usually like to use to blend it all over. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now in the evening, this is going to be your last step. However, in the morning, if you want to include and use a moisturizer before applying your sunscreen, well, I usually do not recommend it. However, if you have feel the need, depending on the sunscreen that you pick, then of course you can go ahead and adjust it, otherwise skip it. But I'm now going to head into the application of the sunscreen, and this is going to be the last step of your morning skincare routine to protect the skin if you have have direct sun exposure. So as an example, I have NIOD Survivor 30 right here, which is a mineral sunscreen that has a light tint, one that I can really recommend because I usually do not like to look like a ghost because of the white cast. However, one thing that's not going to change is how much you are going to use. I want to share with you an overall general guide. First of all, make sure to apply your sunscreen 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. Second of all, if you want to use it for your face, neck, as well as your ears, you go with about half a teaspoon. If you want to include your décolletage, go with about 1 teaspoon. This is a general guide. If you feel like it's a bit too much, if you feel like it's not enough, go ahead and adjust it. But I want to demonstrate that you need to use a fair amount to blend it evenly all over. So as an example, I have half a teaspoon right here so that you can see visually how much this would be. I'm going to now fill it up. You do not need to use a spoon once you know how much you need to use, of course. This is just a visual guide. And then place it in the palm of your hand. And now go ahead and start blending it all over. You can use your sunscreen around your eyes if it does not irritate your eyes. Please make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, of course. But if you feel like it's irritating your eyes, well then just leave out the eye area and wear sunglasses instead, or exchange your sunscreen. So, and once you've applied your sunscreen all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this would be an example of how you can include Avène Thermal Spring Water in your skincare routine. Now with my example, going with a morning skincare routine. Now you can of course go ahead and go over the example routines again in your own time. Plus I want to emphasize that you will find more information about the sunscreen, the products that I have picked as well. So you will be able to find everything in the description box down below. I put everything in one PowerPoint and you can even save it to your device. So basically download it to your device so that you have the example routine in mind if you want to follow it. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!